Major in math or science. That way you'll always have a job. You'll have less competition for good jobs if you can handle math. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, you can paint all you want when you're done with school.
I was sorry to hear that art wasn't worth considering. Although I was very good at math, I also drew constantly and took countless arts and crafts classes. But my mother made it clear that art was no way to make a living.
Society seems to think that it's okay for girls not to do good in math or science. But that's not what we think. We believe that you guys can all excel equally. So don't let anyone discourage you from pursuing math or science. You can do it. At this point, I'd like to begin our first lecture.
I had no idea that girls generally weren't supposed to be as good at math as boys. But if that was society's perception, then by golly, I would carry the torch for feminism on the math front. While Mr. Fields lectured about the analysis of polynomial functions, I filled my notebook with sketches. I read the textbook and aced the quizzes anyway. But one day, without warning, Mr. Fields came around to check all of our notebooks. My heart began racing. My notebook was really a sketchbook. I was in trouble for sure. He paged through, looking in vain for evidence of work, flashing me a look that conveyed a mix of exasperation and disappointment. He slowly shook his head and moved on.
Class, welcome to Advanced Studio Art. Your first assignment is simple. I want you to draw this shape without looking at your page. Eyes up here at all times.
I wondered, how the hell was this exercise going to produce anything worth looking at? My blind contour drawings looked gnarly, lines missing each other where they were supposed to intersect, distortions galore. And yet, Mr. Lee praised them for how well observed they were. Next year I went to college and got back to my other life, the real one where I did math and science. My first week at Cal Poly, I discovered that I hadn't known what being a mathematician was really about. When I paged through the textbook for the theoretical linear algebra class, my heart began racing in dread. The text was terse and dense, filled with intimidating Greek letters. They were all proofs that I hadn't the foggiest idea how to begin. How was I going to jump in and do math at this level after my year away from thinking about numbers? I decided to drop down to a more applications-oriented version of the class. Ben was the emerging star in the lab a year ahead of me. He had been a lifelong tinkerer. Jury rigging a quick fix was an afterthought to a guy who spent his weekends grinding his own telescope lenses for the astronomy club. Asshole. Major in math or science. That way you'll always have a job. But what job did I want? What life did I want? I could do another 35 years of secure work I had no passion for. Or I could develop the creative talents that I had relegated to the sidelines. I knew that if I didn't try something new, I would regret it. As I sat down and began my own drawing, I'd seen these shapes before in many physics problems I'd solved. Their symmetries representing repeating cells, or wires, or atomic nuclei. But that day, Those shapes were the building blocks of my new life as an artist.